Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mylin and this is Sodat, and today I'm going to show y'all how I make this really cute wristlet. I designed it myself. I just thought of a panel with a zipper, another zipper. It's just open in the inside. I put some cute heart fabric. It's just open. It is squared at the bottom, and then I put some pretty rainbow hardware on here. Then it's got a zipper in the front, and then the wristlet strap is handmade. The only hardware you need is a D-ring, the swivel hook, and 2 zippers, and then a little bit of fabric, probably about a quarter of a yard. I did use some vinyl right here, and then I have SFS 101 on this, and in the wristlet, and the D-ring is out of vinyl, but the D-ring would be out of SFS 101 also. So let's get into what we're going to need. So for this tutorial, you could get a regular piece of scrap paper, sketchbook paper. Mine is the 9" by 12" the 80 sheet tag. And I took one piece of paper like that, a solid piece, okay? And I decided how big I wanted it to be. So you really just need to decide how big you want your panel to be. And what I did was I drew it out. So from the paper laying long ways like this, I took the left side as long as I wanted it. I took the middle, which is where the zipper will be, and then I have my right side connected to here because I was working on another bag. That's a longer panel. See, I connected them. You can make it as long as you want. So you have your left, a bigger square, how big you want your front zipper to be, and then you'll have the same size as this. Now, to come up with the back side, which I already have a piece written out, but to come up with this is just how I build it. I do this first when I am done sewing this, and then I add my top strip. Once I'm done that whole square, then I will know the dimensions of my back panel and my 2 linings. So that is how I design it myself. Let's go over all the pattern pieces. Okay, I just want to show you how really stinking cute this vinyl is. It's black, but it has the rainbow. Okay, so this is what we're making. This is the pieces I've already cut out. So I have my front piece, which I'm doing this really cute jungle thing, and I have SFS 101 on this. This is my strap for the wristlet. I also have that interface with woven, and I'm doing this cotton for the D-ring on the side. So I have some waterproof canvas that's going to go really good with that and give it some stability. That's my whole entire panel cut out. And then I have my back, and then I also have my 2 linings. I'm doing this cute stripe. I think it goes good. And then the pocket in the inside, what you do is you line it up. You do the same width as this, and we're going to want to fold it over. So fold it as long as you like. Mine is, I think, 11 inches by 5 3/4. So I took mine and I did the same width as your pocket, and then you can do a shorter one, you can do a longer one, and just fold it up. So double the size of the length to get that pocket size. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to start building the front panel, which is this section. Okay, so take your D-ring and your strap for the wristlet, and you need to draw a line right down the middle. My wristlet strap is 15 inches by 2 1/4. 15 inches long, I think, is a really good size for the strap. This is my strap. It's big. It can fit a hand and a little extra. You don't want it to be too big, so I think the 15 inches is perfect. You could go shorter, you could go longer. We are going to stitch down right here to keep this in place so it doesn't slide around. So you want to have seam allowance for that also. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're going to fold it in to meet that one line. See the line? Fold it in again, iron that down, press that, and press it again. Get it nice and flush so you have your lines already there. Do the same thing with your strap. Let's do that now. Okay, here we go. So I have ironed my strap and my D-ring connector, all ready for that. Now we're gonna start working on the front of the bag. Okay, so pause. My dilemma right now is silver or rose gold hardware. Sadly, I need to order some rose gold zippers. So I only have black, I don't even have silver. So since I'm doing the black with it, I was trying to see if I think the silver would probably go best with it, but I don't know. The rose gold is a vibe. I don't know, you guys. I'm probably gonna go with the silver, not gonna lie. Go ahead and take your front panel and cut your zipper tape as long as it is. Okay, put your zipper on there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay our zipper right side down where it opens to the left. I'm gonna make sure it opens to the left, right side down. So just like this, the zipper is right side down, and we're gonna base stitch that at 1/8 of an inch. Okay, I have clipped it right side down. And now we're gonna baste it on at 1/8 of an inch. Okay, this is what you should have. Now you're gonna take your lining pocket that we just cut out, and we're gonna lay that right side down the right way, so it's nice and flush on the side. And we're gonna sew that down at 1/4 of an inch, or as close as you can to the zipper. Is what you should have. I already went and pressed it. Now we're going to top stitch that. Okay, this is what you should have, nice and top stitched. Now what you're gonna do is bring it up to the top, and you can go ahead and baste this if you want, or leave it into place, and we're gonna add the sides. So we're gonna go ahead and baste that at 1/8 of an inch. You should have with a pocket with the openings on the side. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our side panels that matches the size of this, and we're going to lay it right side down, and we're going to do that on both sides. So right sides down on the sides. I'll show you here in a second. Flip it up so you can see. And this is what you'll have. So I have my right side, which is my waterproof canvas, right side down on both sides, zippers at the top. And we're gonna baste that on at 1/4 of an inch. This is what you should have. I have sewn it down on both sides, and now when you open it up, you will start to see the panel form. So now we need to top stitch this, and when we do, we're gonna push this towards the panel that we just did. So it'll make it lay nice and flat. It will top stitch and hold the pocket into place a second time. So we're gonna do that on both sides right now at about 1/8 of an inch. Now have a panel that looks like this. Now we're going to figure out our size right here. This is how long your panel is right now. So you're going to measure however long you want up here. You can also add one to the bottom if you wanted to make a handbag. I will also be making videos on how I make my handbag, and I use the same pattern right here. So I already have mine pre-cut because I've made a bunch of these, but it is the top like this. And I think mine's about 2.5 inches tall and the width wide of my bag. And we're gonna take that and put it right side down, right on top. And we're gonna baste that on at 1/4 of an inch. This is what you should have. Now we're gonna flip it up, and we're going to pull the seam up towards this panel. So it'll lay nice and flat, and we're going to top stitch that right here all the way across on that side at 1/8 of an inch. Congratulations, you have your front panel of your wristlet. Look how stinking cute. Now, this square right here is going to be the dimensions that you will take for your back panel. Now, you can add more to your back panel. You can put a little stripe down the middle of this other fabric. You could do whatever you want. That's how I do my handbags. But for today's video, we're going to just do the same back. So this will be the front. This will be the back solid, so that's where I get my square from right here for the back. And then you also need to cut out 2 for a lining. So now we have all 4 panels that we need. Our wristlet ready and our D-ring. So let's go ahead and sew these and get that ready. I had to fix the size of mine because I have a 1-inch D-ring, so mine's a little bit bigger, but I did the same thing. I just folded in the edges and now it's bigger. So what you're gonna do is sew down both edges, close the edge off at 1/8 of an inch. And what we're gonna do for the wristlet is you need to put your swivel hook on before you sew this together. So what I mean is have it already folded over. You can use double-sided tape if you need to, and put your swivel hook in it. Now what you're gonna do is take your raw edges and just make them go up like this and meet up together. Open it up, and we have to stitch this closed. So open it up, right sides together, and we're gonna sew this down at 1/4 of an inch. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna open it up. You could use some double-sided tape here if you want, but because I'm using cotton that's interfaced, it's not that big of a deal. Open up your seam. This is gonna make it lay better. Open up your seam like this, okay? Fold it the right way. Fold it back down, and I like to start here because this is the part that's the most important because we don't want it to get bulky. And then fold it over to make your wristlet closed. And I like to go like that and then pull it. And you wanna finagle it a little bit. Mess with it a little bit because you need to get it in position. Folding it over always makes it go wonky. And what you're gonna do is, since this is so bulky right here, this is the part where the person's gonna hold it. So in the end, when we close this off right now, we're gonna stitch that down after we stitch the wristlet. We're gonna go like this, and this is gonna be that end. And it's gonna make it nice and stiff and firm and hold into place anyway. And then we will stitch a line down right here, 2 lines as close as we can to leave that into place. So let's go ahead and sew our strap closed, and just watch out for your swivel hook while you're doing it. You should now have this stitched on both sides. Okay, now take your big bulky seam right here. Hold on, I see some little tails. They want to stay alive. Okay, so take your bulkier side where the seam is and go like this and find your middle the best you can. Okay, pinch it down, and we're going to sew as close as we can, 2 lines as close as we can to the swivel hook. And we're gonna lock that into place. I go back and forth a few times. Okay, so here's 1 line. Let's add a 2nd line. All right, and now we have our 2nd line. 2 lines stitched, and our wristlet is complete. Next step. You should now have your wristlet, your D-ring ready. 2 linings, a front panel, and a back panel. And these 4 should all be the same size. Now we're gonna work on our zipper. Okay, I did forget to mention that on your next zipper for the main body of the bag, you will need some zipper tabs for your zipper just to put on the edge. I went ahead and used vinyl that I have because I think the silver will give it a nice cute accent. And so I decided to do that. And because I don't really like using cotton if I don't have to, because it's really hard. You gotta, you know, you fold in all your edges and then sandwich it. But with vinyl, you don't have to because it doesn't fray on the edges. So take a square that's 2 inches by 2 inches and fold it up and put a tab on your zipper. You take your 2 pieces of fabric. You could also do it like this, right sides together, like this. Sew that down, and then when it folds open, it will be a zipper tab like that. Then top stitch it down, or however you like to do a zipper tab, but I'm doing vinyl today. So I'm just gonna sandwich it in there, right in the middle. I'm gonna end up cutting it anyway to make it flush, but we need to get it on there first. So we're gonna go ahead and clip that down. Do that on both sides. Sandwich it right in the middle, get it nice and flush. And sandwich it down, clip it down, and go ahead and sew those tails on the end of your zipper. And also, when you're doing your zipper, I want to show you, we're going to do the same thing like I said before in other tutorials. We're leaving a space. You're going to leave about an inch gap on each side, so that's how long your zipper would be. Make your zipper an inch shorter on both sides, and then add your zipper tabs. And we'll be back. So in this instance, since I'm using vinyl, I'm only going to sew a line right here, closing it off. If you are using cotton, I would advise doing the whole entire square. And when you're going on the sides, get right here, flush along the edge of where the zipper is, and then you could cut a little tail off the edge of those. Or get a little bit closer and then cut right here. Because when you're using cotton, you're gonna wanna cut the edges off if you should do it like I showed you. And then if you don't and you fold all the edges in, you won't have to worry about that. You could just sew a straight line too. So there's different options. For me, I'm just going to sew a straight line down and close it off. Okay, now you should have your zipper tabs on. Let's go ahead and cut them. If you didn't do the folding it up way, because if you folded it up, you should have the exact size of your zipper. Okay, and so now I have a perfect long zipper with zipper tails on it. All right, and what you want to do is get it to where it's opening. I don't know if this camera is inverted or not, but you want to take it to where it's opening to the left. So when it's closed, it's to the left. All right, take your front panel to the left, lay it right side down. Okay, just like we did the other one. You could go ahead and find your middles if you want. I'm gonna go ahead and find my middle right here. Clip that. And I'm just going to eyeball it because I have black zipper tape. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and I need to fix this. This is a little bit off when I was cutting. All right. Right side down. Middle it up, clip it, and sew that down at 1/8 of an inch. Okay, you should have this little extra on the sides. Take one of your linings, and if you wanted, you could add like a slip pocket or a zipper pocket. I think this wristlet is kind of tiny, so you don't really need all that. Take one of your linings and go right side down and make it perfectly even with the square. Clip it down, and we're going to sew that at 1/4 of an inch right next to the zipper as we go down over the D-rings all the way from one edge to the next at 1/4 of an inch. Okay, now you should have your lining when you pull your zipper up. And now what we need to do is you could go ahead and press the lining down if you want. And we're gonna top stitch all the way from the raw edge all the way across. And we're gonna have our first side of our bag done. Have this cute panel going on with your zipper on it with a little space. Now we're going to repeat that same step. So what you want to do is take your back panel, right side up, okay, looking at the pretty side, and we're going to put this face down. Hold on, I got a little tail. All right, face down. You can go ahead and mark your middle as well if you want, or you could just make sure it's even on both sides. Okay, clip it and sew that down at 1/8 of an inch. It should look like you have your back on, okay? Underneath is your top panel you already did, so now we're gonna build the lining. So since the lining's on this side, we're gonna add the lining now. So, with it facing this way, take your lining, right side down again, sandwich that right on top of the other lining. So gray and gray, stripe and stripe. Lay that down, center that up with your other lining piece. Right in the middle, clip that down, sew that down at a quarter of an inch. Now you should have this. You should have your two linings, your two tops. We're gonna go ahead and top stitch this all the way across just like we did this side. Now you should have this. Now we need to cut our squares into all 4 pieces, and this depends on how deep you want your bag. I'm gonna do mine at, I usually do it at 1.5 by 1.5 because then it would make it like 3 inches wide, which is about like that big. For this bag, I'm gonna go 1 inch. So I'm gonna do 1 by 1 inch squares and cut that out right now. Okay, I have cut all my squares 1 inch by 1 inch on all 4 panels. Now we are ready to begin assembling the bag. What you want to do is open your zipper, your main zipper. Open that up, okay? Or you could at least leave it a little bit. You don't want to catch that, but I don't think you will. Take your 2 fronts, exteriors, put those together. It should fit perfectly. See, mine fits perfectly because I did my pattern good, but I've made a lot of these. But you can go ahead and clip any excess that might be hanging off if you have any. We're going to poke you're going to poke your little zipper tab towards the lining and make these edges perfectly even. Clip that right there on both sides and push it towards the lining. You want the little U shape of the tab to go towards the lining. It's going to make it lay nice and flat. Now with your lining, if you want, I'm going to go ahead and draw a little line where I want to start and stop right on your lining, because we're going to start right here. We need to leave an opening to pull the bag through. So go ahead and line your linings up. I'm gonna put a clip on that end to start and to stop. And that's all I really do when I clip it. I just clip right here, the sides and the bottom again. So what you're gonna do is you're not gonna sew around these corners, okay? You're gonna leave these open. We're only sewing this side. We're gonna sew right here a little bit, leave this opening, sew right here again. We're gonna sew this all the way down, and we're gonna sew the top exterior all the way down. But before we do that, we need to add our D-ring. So what I like to do is, while it's folded up, I find the side that has the zipper of my front panel closed, because I know that's the left, and I know that my main zipper is going to open at the left too. So I like to put my part of the D-ring where the whistle will go on the left side as well. That's just how I like to do it. You can put it on either side. You want to take it and you're going to slip it inside to where the D-ring goes inside and find where you want it. I like to put it a little bit below where I go over the center at. I'm going to put it probably right there where that top panel strip is. I'm going to start it about right there. Stick it in as far as you would like it. I like to always make it a little longer so I have wiggle room to sew. Clip that down. So this will be the left side of my bag. I have stuck the D-ring in. It's sticking out, and we're gonna sew over that as well. So on our sides, we're sewing all the way down. I'm gonna back stitch a little bit over the middle, and then I'm gonna back stitch a little bit over the D-ring, sew all the way down. Do that on both sides. Leave the opening at the top, but sew all the way across on the exterior. And we're gonna do that at 1/4 of an inch. Notice how I went a little bit in more on the lining. I always like to do that. I should have did the bottom as well. And 1/4 around the exterior. The lining should fit a little bit tighter when it fits in there. Okay, now what we need to do is box our corners. So what you're gonna do is pull it out like this, where your square is, pull it out like this, okay? And this is important. You wanna make this middle lay flat. So pick however which way you wanna do your first one. Okay, and you can either lay your seams opposite directions like this, okay, and you're just going to sew that down however long you want. I'm going to do about 1/4 of an inch. Let's get that one sewn down first. I like to do the exterior because it's the waterproof canvas, so it's not that hard to sew. All right, and we box that. All right. Now what you want to do on this side is when you pull the opposite side, look and see which way this is folding. So see, mine's folding this way, so you want it to fold the same way. Okay, so that one needs to fold that way. So I'm going to sew it the opposite way. Sew that down at the same side, 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and then go ahead and see how it lays all the way flat. They're both facing the same way. See? So go ahead and repeat that with the lining. All right, here we go. I went ahead and trimmed that down. Ooh, cuckoo stinky. This is the fun part. We have our hole. The zipper should be open so you can pull it through. And I like to pull it through, and I'm not really pulling that. I'm pulling the exterior right here. I'm not pulling what I have in my hand. I'm pulling this around it really gently. I'm getting it out. Let's go ahead and poke it all the way out. This one's really easy because you just stick your two front fingers, your finger and your thumb, and push it through that seam. Okay? Push it through that seam right there. Get that flat. And when we come up to the zipper pulls, I like to do it this way, but you can stick your hand in it too. And just open it up. Poo-poo stinky, what's the matter? Somebody's cranky butt. Push it through like that. Push your finger through and get it. And see how now it lays flat and nice. Do that on this end. Let's see if I could get a better view of what I'm doing. I'm pushing it through the lining, opening it up, and pushing on that seam as well where the D-ring hangs out. Get that nice and flush. Make it feel good and flat. Ooh, look how cute she is. Go ahead and poke out these two on the lining because we need to go ahead and do our last step, guys. Ooh, we sewed that up, baby. All right. I like to go like this. I got my corners poked out. Go like this. And you can pull it, sandwich it together, get it in there. Pulling it works really good. My baby. the matter with Pull it in there, clip it right here in the middle. You could clip it more if you need. And now we're just gonna sew this. I'm using black thread, so it's kind of contrasting, but if you wanted to switch to a coordinating thread, do that now. And top stitch this. We'll stitch this closed at 1/8 of an inch. Okay guys, we are done. I stitched that down as close as I could. Let's go ahead and stick it through. I like to poke out the little corners. So I poke it out right there, pushing the lining into it. And voila, she is complete, except for this little tail trying to stay on there. Look how stinking cute she is, y'all. Up, gotta add our wristlet. And I'm so glad I did the silver because I think it does look good instead of the rose gold. Okay, everyone, we are all done. Look how stinking cute. Love the silver zipper tabs of the vinyl. It definitely gives it a little accent. This is the zipper. This is the lining. Love the little, look how flush and even the zipper tabs look. Nice. The inside, big old deep pocket to the bottom. Cute squared end, customized wristlet that can be used on other bags, which is why I love doing them like this. So cute. I have made over 20 of these bags. These are so cute. You can do them with scrap fabric, like I said. You can add other stuff to the other back panel. Perfect for cottons. You could do this domestic friendly for sure. So yeah, I'm going to show you how I take this panel and turn it into a handbag. Doing the same thing that I did creating this front panel. I'm going to turn that into a bag and show you how I do that. And it's super easy. There's no hardware on this bag at all. The handles come right out of the zipper, the recessed zipper that we're going to do. And yeah, I think that's it. So thanks for watching my channel. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and tune back in next week when we turn this panel into a handbag and we will sew that up. Bye y'all.